hello there. You join me on a Friday morning, just before lunchtime. And again, what another glorious day we've got. There's a little bit of cloud in the sky. But other than that, there's plenty of blue patches up there. And yesterday, Lady Sarah and I went over to Hornsey again. We went to the Mere, hoping to go and get a cup of coffee in the little coffee shop and maybe a sandwich. But as we got there, we should have checked before we left. But as we got there was a little sign on the fence halfway between the gated entrance and the Mere itself. Was a sign saying coffee shop shut. So never mind. We had a nice walk around the Mere itself, and they must have put up new information signs, because I don't remember reading those before about the military use of Hornsey Mere and all the seaplanes that landed there. Now, I do love a good seaplane, and some of the ones that I do particularly like, I made as Airfix models as a kid. Of course, I don't have them now, but yeah, it was something to do, wasn't it? As a kid, I actually did physical things. We didn't have PlayStations back then and mobile phones, so we actually had to do things. So I made these aircraft kits from Airfix. Anyway, but getting back to the Hornsey Mere, it was quite interesting seeing the history going back to 1913, and that biplane that looked very much like the Orville, the Wright brothers' first aircraft that they built. That was seeing that there with the canard wing at the front, and floats. You just put floats on it. How clever is that? Anyway, but yeah, seeing the progression of the seaplanes in Hornsey Mere is giving me a new insight into what's going on there. I didn't realise that the boathouse that they have now was part of must have been the barracks, I suppose, for the airmen. Yeah, so that was quite exciting. Well, not exciting, interesting, should I say. So anyway, we went and had a cup of coffee down at Mappleton at the post office there, and a cheese toastie. And Sarah loves her crab, so she had crab sandwich. A little bit expensive, but she never asks for anything. She really doesn't. She's a very low maintenance girl. Yeah, so I bought her a crab sandwich. So that was very nice. Yeah, after that visit to the post office at Mappleton, we walked along the beach. Now, I've only ever turned left. When we got to the bottom of that slipway, I've only ever turned left. Been there quite a few times. And there's hardly anybody there. The car park at the top of the hill is absolutely ram-packed full of cars. Yet when you get down to the beach, there's nobody there. Anyway, but yeah, there's nice golden sands. There is a warning saying that you might find ordnance on that beach. And the only thing I can think of is that aircraft dump their munitions as they return back from their bombing raids in Germany. If they had any bombs left, they would jettison them into the ocean, because you don't want an aircraft landing full of bombs. It's bad enough taking off, but imagine trying to land an aircraft and you're weighed down with all those bombs that you should have dropped back over Germany. Yeah, and a lot of those aircraft that returned full of munitions were the ones that were damaged. But yeah, we have in this, where I live here, we have quite a few little airfields, and one I didn't know about. The surprise one was the Hornsey Mere, the seaplanes that used to land there. So that's another thing It's all interesting stuff, isn't it? Something to think about and research. When I get 5 minutes, I'll do a proper research of Hornsey Mere. But yeah, it's a lovely little lake where, like we said, we saw, I guess, during the summer when there's lots more birds, migratory birds in the UK, you might find different varieties of geese and duck, and all the swans that were there. They seem to be in separate little family groups, I guess. So we saw a family of 4 with at least 4 babies, and then when we went round the corner, there was another couple of groups scattered, one over this way and one over that way. Yeah, it was all very nice to see. Well, so that's it then. Oh yes, my car passed its MOT. I asked the garage owner if he could have a look at my wheels, as when I drove down south to my parents' house, when I got to 67, my wheels started to judder. I got a feeling it was just one wheel, but you know, I've never been a passenger in the other side of the car to hear what it sounds like, so I don't really know. But yeah, they balanced my wheels up. That cost £10 a wheel, so they just did the 2 front wheels. But yeah, it's quite refreshing to find a garage that doesn't want to rip you off. Now, I've been to quite a few other garages around here to have work done, like an MOT, and they've come up and said, oh yes, this needs doing. And I've gone for a second opinion, and no, it doesn't need doing at all. So, okay, I paid the 40 quid, whatever it was back then, to have my MOT done and have it fail. But because I was still within my MOT period, I took it to a second garage, and they turned around and gave me a full pass, and I didn't need the work doing that they said I needed doing. Now, I've got a brother-in-law that works for Hendy Fords down in Portsmouth. Now, he was told whenever a car came in to have work done, he was to find another £200 worth of work to be done. Yeah, a bit of fraud going on there. Anyway, he had a bit of backbone, and he said, no, I'm not going to do that, because that's not right. If you do the work that the client's bought the car in for. Fair enough if it's MOT, it's an MOT failure, but making people pay an extra £200 just to boost your income is a bit wrong. So anyway, this little garage that I go to, Lowgate Garage in Hull, is it's very good. I've never felt like I've been ripped off. The guy's always very reasonable and professional. So I shall continue to use the Lowgate Garage in just up the road there. I can't remember the little name of the town that it is, but there's a little tiny cluster of houses right near where a prominent Labour MP lives. Yeah, Prescott. He lives up that way. I'll drive past his house when I go to my garage. Not that I've stopped to look into his house, but yeah, his house is there. Anyway, so oh yes, I was mentioned as well. I was mentioned in somebody's video. There's a driving instructor's video who I submitted a video in, and I'll put a link in the description to his little site, and you might be able to see my video. It's the second one in on the video clip of the big red lorry that's trying to kill me. Anyway, so I shall put that in later. Right, catch you all on the next one, and there will be a next one. See ya.